And we're live. Hello, my name is Michael Nip, and this is the CultureandPeople.com's video game podcast on the topic of video games, episode 13. Uh, I am here with my co-hosts. Uh, Drewby, talk first.
Okay, you should all know me. Uh, I'm a regular, kind of
And
a.
we've got a special other guest who is,
What's up, guys? I'm Marcus.
yeah, that's my brother. He's been on the show before. It's been a while. He's chilling out at my place. So we're here to talk about some video games. Normally we start with the games we've been playing. Why don't we start with Drewby?
Okay, so I haven't really been playing a whole lot recently, but I do have big news for all of you video game lovers out there. I have just re-upped my subscription to World of Warcraft, and have started
The guy's
playing.
been making fun of me for the last 3 weeks on the show because I've been playing World of Warcraft. Has just a subscription of World of Warcraft.
How? Yeah, I would kind of been. I see. Last week on the show, I mentioned that I was wanted to play either Skyrim. I wanted to play Skyrim, and I've been watching a video of people playing World of Warcraft, and you've been talking about it, Michael, and I just kind of my interest has been piqued again. Um, there's a promotion right now. If you pre-order Warlords of Draenor, which is the next expansion, you can get a character and just up him to straight to level 90. So there's that I'm interested in, and then plus I don't have to buy Mists of Pandaria. I can just hop straight in. That's awesome. That was kind of cool. So,
That's the
but yeah,
confusing thing. You didn't actually buy Mist of Pandaria, though.
no, I didn't. I logged on one day, and if through the Battle.net Windows app, it was telling me that I could buy Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor, and it was packaging them all together. Never did anything. I never ever did anything. I didn't. Nothing's been pulled. I never paid for it. It never got pulled from my account. But I logged in the next day, and it would only offer me an option to sell Warlords of Draenor. And then when I logged onto my account online, the status was I was at Mists of Pandaria. I've never purchased that game. I don't know what happened. Cool. That's awesome. And I'm happy I started playing it. I subscribed when I got home, and I started the questing zones of Pandaria. And right before the show, I just created a Panda Monk. So, um,
So
I'm
yeah, have
quite,
you said you did play a little bit?
yes, I did. Um, if I was considered, if I was not a noob before, I am definitely a noob now. It was very bad. It took me a lot longer than you would have expected for me to just hop back in and figure out what everything did again. I know the basics, but um, just fighting through the lines and realizing that wait, I cannot pull these mobs of creeps of orcs to try and take me down, and they will kill me. And actually, I died twice in the first starting zone. Once I got everything kind of working, though, I figured out how the stuff was working. I was able to kind of pour through the rest of it. So I don't really know what's going on. I kind of want to just get out and explore Mr. Pandaria. Um, that's the name of the expansion. Pandaria is the name of the continent. I want to explore. I want to see what's out there. I want to see what's on this continent. And they hinted at something that might be kind of cool story-wise. I'm doing something that I haven't really also done before. In playing, and that last time I played, you and Michael, we just kind of focused on not on questing, but on leveling. And we just got to level, get as high as fast as we can. I leveled my warrior, you leveled your shaman, and we got as high as we could. And then we for raiding. This time, and I was doing this with my warrior, I was just reading the quests and just kind of trying to experience the game a little bit more than I did last time. I kind of appreciate it a little bit more. As far as that regard, I'd like to get into the quests, so and maybe I have to do some research to figure out what good quest lines are. Um, but I do want to play through. I will probably play through the starter zone. I've started the Pandaren. Before I had subscribed, I was just playing on a trial account that I have, and I started the Panda zone a little bit with a hunter, a Panda hunter. I'd like to play through that. Um, Before I was playing, I hopped on my Tyrion mount and was just flying around Northern Kingdoms, no, Eastern Kingdoms, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Is that whole continent Eastern Kingdom?
Yeah, Eastern Kingdoms is the continent where like the Alliance stuff basically is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Eastern Kingdom. I took a portal from Pandora back to Stormwind and was flying around and just taking it in, just kind of exploring, going back to some of the old places. Um, when on my last playthrough, there was a lot of that game that I missed. And I kind of
Yeah.
not necessarily like to try and go back and experience all of it, but get a better feel of kind of the overall part of the map. Get a feel of these are the different zones that I might have missed. Here are and maybe people will recommend, because we know some people who are really into WoW and the storylines and the quests. Maybe they can recommend some interesting story quests that I might have missed and go back and play, because I am interested in those. Just kind of come at WoW from a different perspective, a different angle this time through, and I'm hopeful that maybe my perspective of it will change for the better. Last time when I played, it was kind of a little bit boring. I'm hoping that maybe a new perspective might try it, or at least it gives me another an opportunity to, kind of hang with friends and raid and so forth in the end, if that's what it comes to. But so yeah, wow, who knew? It's this giant game that's been going on for almost 10 years now, and it's still going strong. I would say.
Yeah. I'm installing the trial client on my brother's computer. Where my brother dropped out of the call, and I'm trying to get him back, and he's not coming back. But I'm trying to get him to play through the trial, and we can all three play some beginning level zones. You can actually get up to level 20, I'm pretty sure, on the trial, so we could
Yes.
even get into some dungeons and mess around.
Is it level 10 or 15 when you can first get into the dungeons? It's pretty
15,
low.
you can start queuing for
Okay.
dungeons.
Okay. That's fun. The queuing system that they put in place when I started playing, when that was during Wrath, is pretty awesome, and I liked it. It makes it
Dude, what
very
happened to
simple.
you? You're back. Mark's back.
It just like lagged out and kicked me.
Nice.
Oh, weird. You were
And
just
then
talking
it
about
gave
how
me an
you
error
got
and
to play
asked
WoW
if
for
I
the
wanted to
first
try.
time.
Oh yeah, that's neat. Um, I thought it was fun watching you guys, and like I thought the idea of like running a dungeon or something with other people and everybody has their set jobs would be really cool and interesting to get into. So
Nice.
yeah.
Technical difficulties. Drewby, talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab a LAN cable.
Okay, that's a great idea. We're gonna live on the air, folks. So while I am talking and entertaining our guests, Mark, have you given any thought, or I know you've given thought, what are you thinking about a starting class? If he's not there, I guess I'm the only one here. Hoorah! um, for those of you who haven't played World of Warcraft, I'm assuming you are going to be not knowledgeable of this. It is a MMO, massive multiplayer online RPG that has been around. That came into play. Was it 2004? I think. And that's when they launched World of Warcraft. And initially, it was just 60 levels, levels 1 through 60, and you could play through 2 continents on 2 different factions. The 2 factions are the Horde and the Alliance. The Alliance is made up of humans, night elves, dwarves. There's another race. Gnomes. And now it's made up of worgans as well. The Horde is made up of orcs, tauren, and dark blood elves, goblins, trolls, and so forth. And you can just play as these factions, and the scale of the game is incredible. I really like the art style of the game. I think that's impressive too. it works well. It's kind of got a cartoony feel, but I enjoy it. Like Elwyn Forest, which is the starting zone for the humans, is perhaps one of my favorite not games, favorite starting locations, or at least the favorite locations, because it's just the way the trees look in the atmosphere. Just walking through a forest, there's lakes and there's murlocs that you got to kill. They're all low level, and just brooks and bridges and cabins. It's just a really nice place, and the stuff in that game, that zone is one of my favorites. So, other zones include, you got the Badlands, which is just kind of like this rough terrain. The Barrens, which is kind of like the Sahara of Africa. You've got jungles. You've got like the Amazon, which is kind of a jungle, more like a rainforest. Night zones, and stuff like that. There's lots of places to go, and like I said, one of the things I'm wanting to go do is explore and find all of these different locales, visit them. One of the cool things that World of Warcraft also does, and this is credit to Blizzard, is they do a lot of pop culture kind of fun things that they do in their game. One of them, there's a little Plants vs. Zombies minigame, and there's just a lot of other fun stuff. They do events and stuff like that. And whoa, you're not Michael.
Yeah, he is working on getting everything set up in there, because I don't really know what I'm doing with computers, so.
Nice. Well, yeah. We'll just have you ignore the lower third, because that is not Michael Nip. But, Mark, I know we talked a little bit about this before the show. What thought have you given as far as a class or a race? What interests you?
I'm thinking playing an orc, and class-wise, I don't know, maybe like a warrior or mage? Is that? Or a hunter. Hunter sounds really cool.
Yeah. The hunter has the pet that follows him around, yeah. and there's that aspect comes in. Warriors focus, that's what I play predominantly, and that's sword, just kind of beating the heck out of stuff. Mage is strictly DPS. You could be a healer with that if you wanted to. I know it's like a fire mage, I think is probably one of the... My understanding is at least it was an easy DPS, so it kind of depends on the role you're going for. If you're wanting to deeps or if you're wanting to tank, that's kind of the thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking more deeps or tank. I don't really want to heal.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I might try healing. Michael was talking about doing deeps or something like that. I'm not sure. I'll let you two figure that out. But I think I'm going to plant my totem pole in the healing class on my monk, which I just created. I've healed a little bit before. I had a priest. I don't play anymore. I don't know. But I have a priest on another server that I healed for. He's a level 22 Worgen, which the Worgen is probably one of the sweetest races in that game, where they're basically a bunch of werewolves. And that starting zone, they're Alliance.
Dang it!
What happened?
Man, that'd be so cool to play.
That starting zone is one of the best starting zones I've ever played. Now, I've played the Blood Elf starting zone. I've played the Tauren blood, humans, goblins. I haven't done a Night Elf. I've done a little bit of a dwarf, but the Worgen zone, the story of the Worgen starting zone, is like one of the best starting zones. So even if you're not that's not your main, when like me and Michael aren't on and you're just kind of screwing around on another character, a Worgen is. They're tight. The whole starting zone is basically like, yeah, we've got this curse, and then it's really cool. Something else to check out if you want to try is the goblins on the Horde side, which I know we will be playing Horde. They have a starting zone where it's basically like a steampunk city, where you've got houses and cars. And one of the starting quests is basically you hopping in a car and driving around this town to pick up your friends to go partying.
Nice.
That is one of the starting quests. Yeah. And then basically, kind of spoiler alert, Deathwing flies through, and then the whole city gets wrecked. just gets
Uh,
messed up. So,
so it's
uh,
kind of like the gnomes or whatever, because aren't gnomes kind of steampunky?
yes, the gnomes are very steampunky, and that's what the goblins are. The goblins and the gnomes are about similar in size. Um,
Yeah.
so I also played a gnome. But I didn't go through the gnome starting zone because I created him as a death knight, and they just started off in the Northrend, I think. So
Oh, yeah. Death Knights are weird.
death knights are weird. I
Um,
know. So go ahead.
so why'd you get out of playing WoW in the first place?
Well, the whole reason I got into it was Michael was kind of playing it and was saying it was really good, and I was going to give it a try. I had heard nothing really but good things about it. And so I got into it, and we did it through Recruit a Friend. So we both got like triple XP for a long time, and so we leveled crazy fast. And so I was on my warrior, and he was on a chamois, and we leveled Darthro and Lovato all the way up to level 80. And then we got it, and then we went through Cataclysm, and at the end of Cataclysm, we were in a guild and we raided for a while. The raiding I was not a big fan of. I thought it was kind of boring. I thought that there were other games I'd rather play. The biggest appeal to the whole thing was the fact that I was playing with friends.
Yeah, I feel like working there. I feel like
Yeah,
at some point from the way Michael was talking and saying stuff about it it almost felt like as opposed to being a game, it kind of turned into a job as in, oh, I have to get this stuff to be relevant for our raid group and stuff.
yeah, yeah, and
And I
it
feel
was just
like
it just wasn't fun. The only reason I really enjoyed it was logging on and hanging out with friends, which I logged out, and so I stopped playing WoW. And then I got back into WoW for a year because me and Michael decided that we were going to buy a year subscription, and if we paid for a year subscription of WoW, we would get Diablo 3. And so
oh yeah, I remember that.
I had that subscription going for a while. I never played WoW during that time. I had
Is it
it.
working?
I could have. Awesome.
Don't open anything. Alright.
This is going live. I don't know how much of this Michael's going to have to end up editing out.
Hooray for technical difficulties! Booyah!
No, me and Mark, I'll wait for him to get back. We were just talking about the different starting zones and about why I got out of WoW to begin with. And I was basically, and he was just kind of saying that, and I kind of makes it became more of a job, and I just felt like it wasn't as much fun anymore.
Yeah, basically, also the signs of addiction when you start thinking of your hobby as a not just like a fun priority, but like a job. Like you have to do it. So yeah,
Right.
Yeah, rough times.
I've been playing WoW again though, and I'm really enjoying playing multiple different characters. I got my paladin who is not max level, my shaman who is max level, and then my warrior who I'm busy leveling from the bottom to the top. That my goal is just to get him to max level by November 13th. I believe that's the release date of Warlords of Draenor.
You want to bring a warrior all the way to the top?
Yeah, baby. Orc
in,
warrior.
In 2 months?
That's your first horde character,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes. 2 months is like a significant amount of time.
And leveling, that's a long time.
Do you remember we leveled our other characters from 0 to max in like 3 weeks?
We had triple XP.
And we were playing a lot, but I don't know. I have 15% plus or no. I have like 35% plus XP
Why?
because I have two pieces of heirloom gear and I'm in a guild that has plus 15% leveling.
I want to be in that guild. I'll join.
It's just some random guild. Like if you're just walking around, people will invite you to join guilds.
Nice.
And that's how I got in it.
Nice. No, I was telling about the Worgans. I think Mark's gonna end up starting a Worgan as a side character because they're freaking awesome.
Why would you not want to play a werewolf class or race?
Because sometimes they look really dumb. Like they've got a.
But you design your
Uh,
character, so
yeah, kind of. I don't know. Like it's weird too, because like you can pick what they look like in wolf form and human form, but like they could look really stupid one or the other, and you can't switch that. Like you only get to customize either wolf or human, and then they're gonna look the other way, and it could be really stupid. Like
oh,
there's no
that's
guarantee that
dumb.
they're gonna look cool both ways. Yeah, it's really weird.
Dude, it's asking if it wants me to allow the following program to make changes to the computer.
Just say no. Don't
No.
let anything else run on that computer except what's already running.
Say yes.
Um, yeah, so that's World of Warcraft talk here at on the topic of video games. Drewby, did you say you've been playing anything else? I wasn't here.
No, not really. I haven't touched anything.
All right, cool. Mark, you play games this week? I told you to play games today. Did you do that?
I never really got around to it, actually. I was busy most of the day. But this week, or what I've been playing was, I've been playing, actually this past week I haven't really played anything, because I've been out of town. But before that, I was playing a Minecraft mod pack called the Crack Pack. That was pretty cool.
What does the crack pack do?
Um, it's it's kind of like Feed the Beast, which is another mod pack, and it just adds a bunch more to the game. Like it adds new blocks, new biomes. It allows you to like just craft a whole new thing. Like there's a gun mod pack, and then there's like a mod pack called Tinker's Construct, I think. And you can build like this giant smeltery thing, and you like throw your ores and stuff in there, and then it like smelts them all into like liquid form, and then you can like make molds and stuff, so it like makes crafting tools and stuff more like customizable, and you can make like really cool tools and weapons and stuff with that. And you can make guns, and like they have these two things, like one mod, I don't remember what it's called, but it gives you this chisel, and you can take almost every single block in the game and you can put it in this chisel, and then it gives you like at least 6 options to change how the block looks. So it helps like building and stuff a lot, and you can build jetpacks and things like that and make power sources and all kinds of cool stuff like that. It's pretty sweet.
Huh? That's the one where like I think is how similar is it to Feed the Beast, where there's like all these different energy sources and you can build like a water energy generator and like a nuclear generator and like all these other different, like, is it the same kind of thing?
No, and that kind of threw me for a loop because I got pretty into Feed the Beast at one point, and then I kind of hit a wall because I was at the point when I would have to take forever to like upgrade anything. Like I had like mid-tier power like resources and stuff to get power, and like mid-tier all this stuff. But then like to get like the next tier or whatever, it would have taken so much work, and because I knew nothing about the game, I would go in and be like, all right, I'd look through. You can like pull up this thing on the side window, and it'll allow you to scroll through and look at all the items you can build, because they know you don't know what you're doing. So you'll click on them and it'll show you like the recipe on how to build it. And so I'd be like, okay, I want to build this, and I'd go through and I'd build it, and I'd be like, I have no idea how this works. So then I'd watch like tutorial, and then like I'd have to find the right one to explain it the way. So pretty much like to do anything like that was even kind of cool or like new to the game Minecraft, it would take like 5 hours to build just like one or two things. And I was like, I don't really want to spend that much time just watching tutorials and stuff. So it kind of threw me for a loop when I logged into the Crack Pack, because the mod, or I don't remember what the mod was called, but the specific mod pack that had like all of those power sources that you were talking about is not in the Crack Pack. So I was like, I don't even really know how to get power and stuff anymore. Like usually one of my first goals is build a jetpack, and I have no idea how to do it. So I was kind of going for, I wanted to build like some guns and stuff like that, and just get like a base set up first. Yeah.
So is the draw of all of these different Minecraft edition packs and stuff? Is it just the crazy amount of additional items that you can build and like I guess if you're adding power sets and you're adding other things, you're actually adding game mechanics. Like is that the draw? Just more stuff to Minecraft?
Yeah, it's just Minecraft with more. It's like, I mean, I don't see Minecraft getting to a point when it ever gets like jetpacks or something like that, or as many power sources as some of the mod packs has had. But it's just kind of it's like Minecraft with just a little bit more of like almost like an industrial style theme feel going on. So where you can like, oh, I want to build this, and it has it. It's just more stuff, pretty much. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's pretty sweet.
That's maybe I noticed you're playing Minecraft on the 360. Is that how does that play compared to the normal PC version?
Um, I don't like analog sticks. Like something that you and Drewby have like argued with me about and stuff. Or you guys argued like you're like you want to play a shooter or something, like set up like a shooter with a mouse, and Drewby wants a controller. And um, I don't know. I feel like Minecraft, and it might just be because I'm so used to only playing Minecraft with the mouse. It feels like the analog stick is way too clumsy and slow. And like with a mouse I can get stuff done, but with the analog stick, like playing with a controller on the Xbox is not as cool. Um, that's about the biggest difference, besides the fact that the PC version is more updated, so there's more stuff and like a little bit of different mechanics and things that are in it. Except for one thing that's not in the PC and is in the Xbox in the PS3 version is if you're playing creative mode, so you can fly around and stuff. If you look like right down at a block and try to fly straight up and hold down like right click to place a block, you can fly faster than you can place the block in the PC version. So it takes a little bit more time. It's not that annoying, but it takes a little bit more time to build like a straight up pillar, as opposed to in the console versions, you can just hold down the like place button and hold fly, and you can place it just as fast as you can fly. But besides that, the PC version's way better. It's way less annoying to place and build things and like destroy things than with the mouse than with the analog stick.
Do you find that it has the same like the random generating factor? Like, do you feel like the PC does it better? I know it's the same like, game and stuff, but I feel like a PC better hardware stuff like that. Do you notice a difference like that? Or is it pretty much the same?
It's pretty much the same, but the Xbox and like the console versions are really like finite worlds in the sense that they're very small. Like I just recently I was watching this thing, and they said if you travel in a straight line, it takes a butt ton of hours to reach the end of the world in Minecraft when the world's just too big and it'll crash.
Okay.
And like in the console versions, it takes like when I was flying around in creative mode, it took me like a minute maybe max to fly from one side of the world to the other, which like you can fly really fast, but
Wow.
they're small worlds, yeah.
Wow. That's a very significant difference.
Yeah. Which I think they're working on, like how to fix that and stuff, but
That would be. I don't know how much you can fix that though. I mean, you're talking
Yeah, it's just gonna be a hardware limitation.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're talking a computer with like much significantly better hardware, and then you stick it on a hard Xbox with 256 megs of RAM. Yeah.
When you told me that, I found that like completely unbelievable. 256 megs of RAM is like what year? I guess that system is super old though.
Yeah.
What
Man, I
one?
forgot when that thing came out.
Yeah.
The
360?
360.
Yeah.
My first Windows XP machine had 256 megs of RAM on it. Yep.
That's
Dude, it is
nuts.
cold on your floor in here.
Yeah, dude, I keep it chill. I keep it I,
Not
ice,
a,
baby.
not 1,000 degrees like Drewby's house.
Hey now,
Seriously.
jeez.
Speaking of Drewby, hey Drewby, what is the update that like last week on show we talked about? You have a list of games that you are going to pick from one of them to complete. Do you have at least a partial list that you can tell us about? So Drewby,
I,
recap. Drewby plays lots of games. He doesn't finish them if they're not shooters or Assassin's Creed. So I dared him during this break
You
to
played To
beat
the
a
Moon.
game that was. I did play the To the Moon. That was a good one. I dared him to beat just one of his games. Like I was easy. I said, pick one of the games that you normally play. Try to beat it. What is your list? You've narrowed it down to.
all right, here's the list of games that I have played but not beaten, and this is basically stuff that I could think of. Okay, so on the 3DS, Fire Emblem. That's the only game that I haven't played and not beaten on the 3DS that I really care about. On the PC, there's a bunch. Skyrim, Dragon Age Origins, Warcraft 3, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, uh, Diablo 3, Dead Space, Guild Wars 2, Deus Ex, Dark Souls, One Finger Death Punch, Stacking, XCOM, Bully, Just Cause 2, Bioshock, Dead Island, Darksider, Braid, Half-Life 2. And then I've got
Half-Life 2.
for the Vita,
No, Drewby has not beat Half-Life 2.
Rayman
And it's a
Origins,
shooter.
Dude, I should get Half-Life 2 and beat that game.
and then
you should.
on the PS4, Need for Speed Rivals. I haven't beaten that game. I've played a lot of that game though.
Have you
So-
picked a game that you actually want to do yet?
No, I haven't. I'm leaning towards Fire Emblem because I know I'm so close, and it won't take
You're
me
like-
that long.
He's
But
taking the
feel
easy
like
I
way.
really want to beat
Two-thirds.
Dark Souls.
Okay, you're like 2/3 through Fire Emblem. You still got time, but that's a really good game.
Yes, I understand. A lot of these are good games, and I actually want to play these. To be fair, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne shouldn't be on this list because I've never really started that game. I've only started Warcraft 3, never finished Warcraft 3.
That's a good one.
Also,
I think I've
Sure.
beat at least 2 of the campaigns on that. I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
something worth noting is that Fire Emblem is better than most of the games on that list. I will vouch for that. So
it's not better than Dark Souls though.
no, Fire Emblem. I don't think there's a game that you can put on a list right now that's better than Dark Souls.
Batman Arkham City.
So it's not better than Dark Souls. It's not out yet. You don't know. That game may be better than Dark Souls. I'll give it that. I doubt it. It may be,
Arkham
but
City.
it's not out yet.
Arkham City.
Arkham City is not better than Dark Souls in any way. Maybe graphics. Wait, definitely graphics. The graphics in Arkham City are way better than Dark Souls.
That game is
And Dark Souls
fun. I
Did you
love
ever
that
beat
game.
Meat Boy, Drewby?
No, I don't.
Why
that's
isn't
not-
that on there?
That's not on this list because I don't care. Like I could live my life and feel good about not beating Meat Boy. Like that is a legitimate game that I don't think I could ever beat.
I
ever.
tried to play that the other day and got so ticked so fast.
It's like me and Dark Souls. We've had this conversation before. I pick it up, I fight Smorn Ornstein, and die. It's so irritating.
Meat Boy is the platformer of Meat Boy is the Dark Souls of platforming.
Meat Boy's a great
So if you
game.
want to beat Dark Souls, you should want to beat Meat Boy.
Like, I'm on the second to last level in Meat Boy, and it's like I'm progressing. It's like one of those I get to the same part and die or do worse.
Mhm.
Like I have not ever, and I've set it down and come back to it multiple times, and I cannot make it past a certain part, and it's so frustrating. I'll make it there a few times, and then the first time I start to do worse than that, I just turn it off. I was like, no, I'm done. That's not happening. That right now.
So to answer your first question, I've narrowed it down to 3 games that I would be willing to devote my time to beating right now. The one of them, Fire Emblem, is the first one. Dark Souls, I'm willing to throw myself back into that game, and Skyrim. Those are 3 games that I will narrow down to right now and say that these are the 3 games that I have to choose from, of which one to throw myself into.
I don't want to devalue Skyrim, but I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is better than Dark Souls. Like, I think Skyrim is but beating Skyrim. Uh, Skyrim is the one on that list that you don't need to beat to enjoy a bunch. You could play 100 hours of Skyrim and never beat it and still get just as much joy out of the game. Whereas Fire Emblem and Dark Souls, beating them is part of the critical enjoyment of those games.
Skyrim, I have put over 30 hours into that game. I have barely started to scratch the story, apparently, and I have enjoyed that game so much. That game is great. I love it.
Yeah, like you
So
can beat it
I
if you want to,
yeah, I
but
can.
it's one of the least important games to beat, as long as you've at least figured out what's fun in the world and exploring and shooting monsters and getting better items and crafting. Like, you can enjoy the majority of that game without playing through the story. I don't think the story is that great anyway. It's
Okay.
not that long. Like, you could beat it fast, but
Right. Okay. All right. So we're down Fire Emblem and Dark Souls. Marcus, what are you leaning towards? What do you think I should be beating my head against? A 3DS or the PC?
I'd say you should go for Dark Souls because you're already like isn't this the boss that Michael had trouble with for forever too?
Yes.
So I feel like it's kind of one of those, once you get past this part, I mean, it's Dark Souls, so it's not just gonna be like smooth sailing, but much smoother sailing than what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I would recommend that you could try to beat both. They are mutually exclusive enough in their style and feel that you could play Dark Souls when you feel like you are up to the challenge, and you could play Fire Emblem when you are feeling kind of like, hey, I just want to lay in bed. Like, they don't have to be competing. You could do both.
I agree. Okay. All right. When I'm not playing WoW, I will try to throw myself back into Dark Souls. I will conquer Smoke Ornstein. I will figure this out.
Nice.
I kind of want to play that.
Yeah, you should play Dark Souls.
You should.
The controls are so jacked up. I need to fix them, and then I'll not be annoyed by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so speaking of Dark Souls and the games that I've been playing, you may or may not have noticed I posted a Dark Souls 2 Let's Play on the site. I got that game on PC. It was a long story on whether I wanted to either renew my Xbox Live subscription or buy Dark Souls 2 on PC, basically because I wanted to play more Dark Souls 2, and I wanted the online components. And so I ended up buying Dark Souls 2 on PC. That game looks really good, and it allows me to stream it out. So I was able to record myself beating the first 2 areas of that game, like the first 4 bosses. I felt pretty good. Like, if you watch the video, I think I only died 2 times, and one of them was a glitch. I don't really
Dude, that
count
was
it.
so wrecked.
Yeah, like the screen just starts going uber haywire, and I basically let myself die because I can't even tell what's going on. The other time, I legit just made a couple of bad moves in a row while fighting the second boss of the game, and he ran me through with his sword one too many times. I ended up dying. I'd actually just started talking about how I thought I was getting the hang of the fight, I think, in the video, and then he hacked me in half. Dark Souls 2 is really, really good, and oh, hold on. It looks like we can possibly get a 4th color in this video. Drewby, talk while I try to figure this out.
All right.
Who wants to join?
Mystery guest.
Nice.
So, Marcus, have I described my Dark Souls plot to you? Why I am having so many problems?
Not a lot. I've heard bits and pieces from you and
Okay.
Michael's conversations.
Here is the gist of the fight. I walk into a room. I fight these dudes. So here, what I've got is I've got an arsenal of like these spells, but I am limited on my spells. I have 4 of this big spell that does a lot of damage, and I have 30 of the smaller that does a little bit of damage. And I will have to fight my way through these bosses. Up to these bosses through like these guards to this room, get into the room, and then there's a big fat dude with a giant hammer that when he swings it can knock down your cover, so you're losing cover as you go through. As well as a guy who flies really fast with a lightning spear and can hit you with it.
Nice.
When you kill one of them, they morph into this bigger dude, and then you have to fight that thing. I have not been able to get to that point. It's just, what I've had to do is, I've tried to resort to summoning an NPC to help me in the fight, but the problem is, in order to summon an NPC, I have to burn what's called a humanity, and I am very limited on my humanities. So every time I fail, I've wasted a humanity. So I can only try so many times. What I'm afraid I'm going to have to do is leave this whole area called Inner Orlando and basically go to the lower levels, the easier place, and just grind and grind and grind and grind to get souls to be able to buy spells, so I can have more weapons in my arsenal, and even and so that when I come back up to this fight, I am actually I'll be maybe a little bit better, so I can actually beat this thing. Plus, I'm running low on humanities. I've tried. I've been beating my head against this. I only have so many humanities. Stuff that you have to look.
Just watch the speedrunners. It can be done in like a minute and a half. Just
I've watched the speed run. I've seen it happen. Oh.
Just do exactly what they do. You got it, Drewby.
Yeah. I was gonna say something about Dark Souls, and you were talking about. Oh, it's the boss that you're stuck on is actually semi-related to the boss that I beat, the fourth boss that I beat in my Dark Souls stream. The old Dragon Slayer. Like, there's a lore connection between the two bosses that we were fighting on. So if you are watching my Dark Souls 2 video, you can actually skip ahead.
Okay.
We got a fourth caller. Can you hear us? Maybe.
Maybe not.
We can't hear him. At least I can't.
Hey.
What's up, Blake?
What's up?
Not much.
You're live on the internet right now. We're streaming this right now.
Whoa.
How do you feel?
I've never been on live television before.
Nice. Basically, we can say what we want as long as we don't say anything that's going to get us kicked off. We just finished the video game. Wait, actually, we didn't. I was talking about video games that I was playing. I talked about the Dark Souls 2 video I posted right before this show. Okay, hold on. Yesterday, it was my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. No, yesterday was not my mom's birthday. Yesterday was my mom's birthday party. Anyway, we went to my parents' house, and I realized that all of my old computer games were in a giant CD case there, and so I stole it, and all of my favorite computer games from when I was a kid were in there. And they're mostly learning games and stuff. I'm going to have a lot of problem getting them to work, I think, because they're older, but I was able to get The Logical Journey of the Zoombinis to work, which is like a Broderbund learning game that teaches logic. Amanda had never seen it or played it, so I had Amanda playing it right before the show. It was pretty fun. She liked it. It brought back like so many memories with the sound effects and the music, and like when I was a kid, figuring out these puzzles was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got Warcraft 2 and Red Alert and
Warcraft 2,
Carmen Sandiego. Yeah, Warcraft 2, and the expansion pack, Galactic Battlegrounds. Galactic Battlegrounds, which is just a reskin of Age of Empires 2. Like, it's just a Star Wars reskin of Age of Empires 2, and like all this crap. So I want to, if possible, I want to try to get like a Windows XP emulator running on my computer and try to run some of those games on OBS. I could not get the Zoombini game to work on OBS, but maybe I could in an emulator or something.
Age of Empires 2. I have the collection that I bought for like $10 from Walmart a long time ago. Another game that I've never beat. Try to go back and play the original Age of Empires. Like the original Age of Empires. It is rough. It's really rough.
Is it like a tactics game, or is it still an RTS?
RTS. Oh, it's straight up RTS.
I have a friend who, like, him and his family, like, has giant tournaments of Age of Empires.
Oh, nice.
Like, just with their like, they'll just do it, and like, yeah, they all love it.
It's nice to know that game's still relevant to some people. I know a lot of people love it.
To someone somewhere.
Somewhere out there. Right, go ahead.
Oh, speaking of that, I also have a Five Will Goes West video game that I found in that old video game.
Nice.
I'm sorry, it was not Five Will Goes West. It's just regular American Tail.
I was gonna say
but
that song is not from Fifle Goes West.
Well, it is. The girl sings it. I'm not gonna talk about Five Will lore with you right now.
We're not gonna do this with you, right now. Dude. I didn't even know we had a 5 game.
You probably didn't
we
even
did.
know there's
I
a
played
American
it.
Tail movie.
You've seen Five Will Goes West.
Happy
Anyway,
Mar-
Blake, this is news I just saw today. Did you see that one of the Pokemon that won the World Tournament was I can't pronounce it. It's the like electric squirrel that's basically a copy of Pikachu.
The one it starts with like a D, right?
It's like Parrot.
I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about because I
thought
thought
it was like Parrot.
I thought they were adding fourth evolutions
Parrot.
for a really long time, and then I just realized, oh wait, it's another electric rodent because we don't have enough of those already.
Because
Like,
Pikachu was such a boss to begin with.
Yeah, and then you have your Plusles and your Minums and your that squirrel one that was electric. Yeah. You just-
Pachirisu?
That's the squirrel one, the Pachirisu or whatever. That's the one that won.
Wait, the blue one?
Yes. He was basically, like, evidently the guy had built him as a tank, so he didn't actually do anything in the fight except take damage every time that they tried to attack his actual DPS Pokemon, and he ended up winning the World Tournament with this, like, random Pokemon in his group. So there's all kinds of memes going around the internet with Pachirisu, or whatever his name is,
Yeah.
like, just, like, destroying other Pokemon and, like, ruling the world and, like, sitting on a throne and stuff.
Does this mean that there's hope for a Magikarp to come back and win?
No.
No.
There's
Can
never
really-
hope for Magikarp.
Can it
Why do you
learn
pronounce
other
it
things besides Splash?
Magikarp?
Huh?
Can it learn other things besides Splash?
Magikarp. I don't know.
It learns Tackle at level 15, I believe. So you can get your Magikarp to have at least Tackle. And
Can it learn
You have to
HMs or whatever? HMs or TMs?
probably.
Dude, you gotta give it Surf or something.
For a really long time, I
Well,
wanted
give
to
it
train
Surf,
a
it'll be
Magikarp,
good.
but that was before, like, the X and Y, like, you were able to, grind the heck out of a team and do it easily and all that stuff. So I didn't really feel like putting in all the effort.
That's
Nice.
a lot of effort from Magikarp.
So, yeah, so I already talked about the old games I was playing. I talked about Dark Souls, talked about World of Warcraft. That mostly narrows it down for me. Nice timing, Blake. What have you been playing? Anything? You play some games?
Well, I started school this week, so I've been kind of working with that. But I picked up this old game that I found in my basement the other day. It's called Crimson Skies.
I recognize the name. That sounds familiar.
All right, that game is really good. I forgot how good it was. Like, I remember it being good, and it's still good. Like, the animation,
Is it a flight sim?
yeah, but it like handles really, really well. The fighting mechanics work well. I really like it. Yeah, so I've played through that. It's probably, I don't know, it's 6-8 hour storyline. So I beat through that, and then today I was supposed to be working on a paper, and then I started playing Rogue Legacy.
Drats? Oh, that game is good.
Yeah,
Game's hard. I need to beat that game. I have that. I played a bunch of it.
It's on my wish list. It'll be coming. I think it's out for the PS4. I need to pick it up and give it a shot.
Dude, your dog is going through some rough times. He is not like walking around these cords.
Oh, he's kind of weird. Yeah, Rogue Legacy would have been on our top 5 games of last year had it not been for Drewby's obsession with Assassin's Creed 4.
4? Is that Black Flag?
The game's good.
Yeah.
yeah. So I played about 3 hours of that. I beat the first boss, and then decided I should probably be doing other things. So
Then was like, wait a minute, I have a bunch of school to do.
yeah,
Maybe I should. Are you kind of like the push school off person to like the day before?
I'm trying kind of not to this year. I'm normally pretty good about it until like robotics hits, and I have to be doing robotics every single like second of the day that I'm not doing school. And then after that, it just like completely falls apart. So
Because, like,
I'm trying to be good about it this year, though.
I've only ever taken a few classes from like because I'm homeschooled and stuff where it's not just like I wake up, do my school, and then like sit it aside, and I actually had like homework and stuff to do.
Yeah.
But every single class I've ever taken like that, I've only, unless it's something that like would take forever to do, I've always just pushed it up to the day before, which is one of the reasons Drewby's mom taught one of the classes I had to take. He did my speech class, and we didn't really get along because I didn't ever properly prepare for the class.
Fun fact about Crimson Skies: it was developed by Zipper Interactive, the guys who made SOCOM.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That last SOCOM game took a bad break, being an online multiplayer-focused shooter that came out while PSN was down.
Also came out in a world where Call of Duty existed.
Yeah, but the people playing SOCOM are not the people that play Call of Duty. I would not consider those competing games, really.
That's
Like,
true because the SOCOM people moved on to Call of Duty.
No, I don't think people that played SOCOM are the people that played Call of Duty ever. The people that are playing SOCOM, like slow, tactical, strategic, coordination between teams and like that kind of pace. And the people that play Call of Duty just like guns all the time, like boom, 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 fire, like running fast. The people that played SOCOM are not the people that play Call of Duty. The people that play SOCOM are probably waiting on like Rainbow Six or something else, not Call of Duty.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Anyway, so there was other gaming news that I was going to bring up. There was what was that game that our sister site Patrick Klepek was playing? I can never remember the name of it.
Did your sister say it?
PT.
Yeah, our sister site Giant Bomb. PT. Yeah, there's this game called PT that comes out, and I don't even know what. I think they were advertising it as like an indie game, but it comes out and it turns out to be a trailer for Silent Hill 5, or it's called Silent Hills, sorry, but the S could be a 5, and it's the 5th entry of the Silent Hill series. But that demo was creepy as heck. I watched it on Spookin' with Scoops on Giant Bomb, and it was ridiculous. And then here's the reason I brought this up, because anytime I could talk about this, I try to. There are rumors that the Silent Hills game is going to be for the Morpheus, which, for those of you who don't know, that is the PlayStation 4 equivalent of the Oculus Rift. So it's their virtual reality technology. And
No.
Silent Hill, especially if it's as scary as that demo, on like a Morpheus, would probably literally make me take a dump on my couch. Like, worse than Mark's computer did at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched a little bit of the stream, and it was very, very, very intense. You had said that it was early on when he flips out because there was I want to say it right, a GIF.
Get
There we go.
GIF. Son of a gun, Drew.
I'm gonna say.
You would say GIF.
If you signed it out, that's how it is.
All right, so I can't say Maggie Carp, so I have to say Magic Carp. But now it's not GIF.
Magikarp, like the word magic. Magikarp. Magikarp.
Anyway, watched it, and very intense. I after I got past the scary part for him, I was like, all right, I don't want to watch this anymore. I want to play WoW. I'm done. I'm done, and I moved on with my life. If that game was on a VR headset like the Oculus or the Morpheus, I would be curious to see people's reactions to it, specifically people who are
It would scare the
already-
living poo nuggets out of people.
Yes, but even the people who play horror games on a regular basis and like that kind of thrill and stuff like that.
Do you consider Patrick Klepek someone that plays horror games on a regular
I
basis?
do, because he plays them.
He played crappy horror games on the Oculus Rift, and it was too scary for him. He had to stop. And he was like, I know these are crap, and if I was playing this on a regular screen, I would think it was garbage and not even give it the time of day. But when you're playing it on the Rift, it is not bearable. Like, it is so freaky. Like, those videos, he also has those on Giant Bomb of him playing, I think he says scooping with scoops in the Rift or something. He freaks so much out. And, like, he's, like, knocking his mic down with his, because you got glasses on, you can't see it. He's, like, knocking stuff down and moving his head around. It's crazy.
I'll have to go back and check those out. That sounds
I
awesome.
feel like that'd be an awesome experience, though. Like, just
Yeah,
to-
I'm so excited for virtual reality.
Would it really, Mark? I don't know. No.
I think it'd be Drewby. I think the site should make Drewby play through a horror game with one.
Oh.
We played like 2.5
An entire-
hours of one game during the Halloween-y
Dead
stuff
Space.
that we did.
Dead
I
Space.
played Dead Space.
Yeah, but I think you should play one with like a virtual reality on, because that would be funny as heck.
That would be.
Drewby
you would
doesn't
see-
deserve.
Huh.
Drewby's not excited for virtual reality like he should be. Like,
You see, like, I think it is. But how are you not excited for that?
It's. I'm just not.
He's like, virtual reality is just like 3D. It's just gonna go away. No, it's not, Drewby. Virtual reality is the future. You've seen Star Trek. You like the holodeck. That's what that is.
It's even in. There's an episode of Kim Possible where they have that stuff, man.
Maybe.
Because that was better. Because Impossible is better than Star Trek.
Yeah. No, I've just never seen Star Trek.
Blasphemy. Yeah. No, I've seen stuff for it. I've never tried it. If I tried it, I might be more excited, but it's not something that I'm just not excited for. I'm not. It's nothing.
All right, hold on.
personal.
I got something to say. Blake, talk so you become the focus of the screen.
All right. Yes, I'm speaking.
Marcus just downloaded the trial for World of Warcraft. Drewby just subbed to World of Warcraft, and I just got on World of Warcraft. You need to download the trial for World of Warcraft and play with us.
I shall do that.
That'll be awesome, because then we have a 4-man team. We can just get one little nub and do dungeons almost by ourselves.
Shout out to the fact that Michael just called somebody a nub, and the only place I've ever seen that done is on iCarly.
I was just thinking we could make John our little nub.
John doesn't like World of Warcraft. He'd rather play RuneScape than World of Warcraft.
For real?
He said that when I was
He
on the
said that
multiple
multiple times.
John doesn't know what a life. Blake, what are you doing with your brother, man? I think you should not do robotics this year and just beat the crap out of John instead.
Now he has to do robotics with me, so
Till
I'll
he thinks.
do robotics and beat the crap out of his head.
That makes sense.
Make his
Till
robot.
he can think, at least.
Just beat the crap out of this robot. That way we stay in character.
Make the
No, because-
robot to not do the task that it's supposed to
Yeah,
do,
just
and make the robot to beat the crap out of John.
Destroy, John. Destroy.
Shouldn't have put that line of code in right there.
Yeah, you're the
What is it?
programmer. You can
What
make
is it?
that thing do whatever you want.
Is it exterminate? Is that what the things in Doctor Who say? The
Yes.
Daleks.
the Dalek, yeah.
Exterminate.
Drew, have you been watching? Never mind, this is the wrong podcast to ask. that
Yeah,
question.
you can't talk about that here.
If it were a different
Michael
podcast,
gets mad.
I would do nothing but talk about Twin Peaks on this show. So does that.
I started watching that too. That show was
Oh,
weird.
good. Yeah, it is. How far are you? Dang it! I can't. Come back a different day. We'll talk about it then.
Sorry. Yeah.
I just downloaded a Twin Peaks podcast that I'm going to start listening to. So
Oh my
that.
goodness.
I feel like this thing is just slowly but surely taking over your life, Michael.
Good.
What is
Um,
that game that's supposed to be like super based on it but crappy?
It's not. Well, it's both crappy and awesome, and it's called Deadly Premonition. I need to
We
play
played it
that.
in
That's the
Warzone.
game that I should beat. No, that's the game I need to beat. Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, what
But
are
I've
you
been
doing?
playing
Wow, Michael.
World of Warcraft. I've been playing World of Warcraft and Dark Souls. You can't ever fault me for playing Dark Souls because Dark
That's
Souls
true.
is like the Twin Peaks of video games, even if it's nothing like Twin Peaks.
It's just you're saying it's just the best.
Yes. Does anyone else have any other video game related news they heard this week? I'm sure
Dude,
there's more stuff that I'm not thinking of.
Yeah, you're forgetting about a giant conference that just took place over in Europe.
Yeah, but did anything actually? Gamescom was last week, but I don't remember any news coming from it that I thought worth mentioning.
Mike Bithell popped on stage to talk about his new game, Volume. You guys should remember if he developed the old game Thomas Was Alone. That game is good. See, there was something. There was a place I wanted to go with this. Sony's doing firmware updates. They're releasing 4.0, not 2.0.
Yee, buddy!
Yeah, I know. I'll take 4.0. No, they're releasing a firmware 2.0. That one's gonna have YouTube streaming in it. And then, what was the other Sony information that they released? Oh, I can't remember.
Wasn't they are adding USB support?
I don't think I heard that one. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Like USB to PC support, that would be awesome. I have a PS4 controller, 2 of them. I feel like there was a game that got delayed that wasn't delayed before. We talked about Evolve being delayed last week. I don't think that was it. We're kind of slow on the games front. That's why I'm trying to get Drewby to beat another game. There's nothing. There's Dragon Age coming out. We've mentioned before. There's Dragon Age coming out this year. That's the only one that I know of that's coming out this year that I can remember being excited for. Oh, Super Smash Brothers. I mentioned that last week as well.
I should beat Dragon Age. I have it, or I'm borrowing it from you. I should beat it.
They I think this is what I want to talk about. In the Gamescom, they released some more information about Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain. Did you have any of you guys watched that stream at all?
No, I didn't watch any of it.
Oh wow. Okay. There was a very funny trailer in that was specific. That the sole purpose of this trailer was about the cardboard box. It's going to be an accessory to Solid Snake through the game.
It was the last trailer I've seen for that was the one where he just is shoving the dead guy all over his face.
You mean
I'm
the,
just like-
the Ash?
Yeah, I'm just like, why?
That
In
game
what
looks
world, or what would happen in your world when you were like, I'm sitting here trying to, I'm guessing, pay, respect to all these people who died in the war and be like, the best way I can think of to pay the respect to these men is to walk out to the edge of this boat, open up the urn with all their ashes, and rub it all over my face. I don't ever see that happening.
And then
He's
sneak around
he's
in a
trying to be
cardboard
Kratos.
box.
Yeah, he wants to be Kratos, but less angry.
And less, trying to become a god.
Yeah, well, he was murdering the gods just because he was angry.
I don't know anything about this.
Here's the thing I wanted to talk about a little bit. Resident Evil's getting an HD remake. Hold on. The Resident Evil HD remake is getting an HD remake. So it's the second time they've remade this game. I am already tired of games that were in HD getting remade in HD again. This is starting to become a trend, and I think it's a little bit old already. I want new games on my new consoles. I don't want to play games that came out last generation on my new consoles. Like The Last of Us, great game, looks beautiful, didn't need a PS4 update. Resident Evil had a great update that everybody loved, doesn't need another update. I don't know how long they're going to keep this trend going, but I am just waiting for Microsoft to announce a Gears of War HD version for the Xbox One.
We've talked about this, and I don't agree with you. I am happy and content with all these remakes that are coming out. Um, all of these games are getting pushed towards next year. We're not getting new games anytime soon. And if we weren't getting these games, then we would just have months of no games coming to these brand new consoles that launched this year, and the consoles would have legitimately launched a year early. A lot of
But
these
you're not
games
buying
as
any of
well
them.
are a lot of these games are some stuff that I have not played yet. We've talked about Samurai Gun that's coming to the PS4. I'm excited to play that. Journey, that was a PS3 game. Coming to
Those
the
are those are
PS4.
ports. I don't count ports, especially indie ports, as this. I'm talking about games that were in HD last, especially AAA games that came out even last year. Last of Us, Game of the Year everywhere last year, coming out with an HD remake already.
Journey was a last gen game that came out 2 years ago. That was already in HD. You're not upset that that's coming to the PS4?
No, I also think Journey is I, games. Journey's not technically indie, but I consider it indie. Games that are just being ported that don't need a lot of work, it doesn't feel the same to me because it's a lot less work just
I
adding it to another console.
And maybe those games that are all getting pushed back, Droopy, would not be getting pushed back if they weren't like making all of these remakes.
I don't feel that that's a statement that can be made if these games, since these games are not coming from the same studios. You know, what are we? What? All right, so we're talking about.
Capcom could be working on anything else. They could be making a Dragon's
You
Dogma
know,
2
Capcom is
that
not making anything else. They're not making anything else.
they could be. But what I'm saying is they should be making something else. They have Mega Man. They have Dragon's Dogma. They have. They could make another freaking new Street Fighter, but instead they're making a remake to Resident Evil.
Right. Right.
Are the all Resident Evil games as crappy as the one we played?
No, the one that we played was considered good, but not like a normal Resident Evil game. It was considered good because it was so dumb, I think, which is why we were enjoying it.
Like we were 13 hours in that game and like a third of the way through or something, and we were like, nope, not anymore.
Right. I don't know. The fact these new games coming out. I mean, we're talking about The Last of Us. What other game is Naughty Dog working on? Uncharted 4. That game's at least 2 years out. There's nothing really else comes to mind of two studios that are working on stuff. Evolve Studio, Turok. If they're not making anything else, this is their only game that they've got on the line.
But they're not making an HD re-release either. They're not making a Left 4 Dead HD.
So Michael,
but Mark's point was that maybe those games might not get pushed back if the studio is developed. And all I'm saying is a lot of those games don't have other games in the make. The studio time for those is not affected. We're talking about.
So Michael, my question to you is, you're like you want good quality things. You're like, I would rather people take the time to make things up to snuff, like make their video games, take their art seriously, make their video games good quality and solid and stuff. So would you rather them not put So I'm guessing you're not that disappointed that the people are pushing back their games to make them better. Would you rather them not release anything in this time then?
I would rather publishers like Sony or Microsoft focus on indie games that are continuing to come out that may not get noticed during this time, kind of give them a spotlight in the time when the AAAs are taking a break, than have AAAs. Or if a AAA company wants to make an HD remake of something, pick something that was further back than last year. Like, go back to the PS2, PS1 era and try to HD remake an older game, not a game that just came out or is already in HD. Like, if it came out on the last console, it's already in HD. I don't care about an HD remake. I want to get a remake of a game that's like older than that. Like maybe Final Fantasy 7 HD remake. Like, there's lots of games that people would want to play again. Sony could, take like Parappa the Rapper HD or something really weird like that. I think people would really love something weird and off the cuff, especially during this time of a AAA break, instead of your remakes of games that like Halo. Like Halo's getting another HD remake on the Xbox One. It's kind of a cool idea, especially if you're a Halo fan, but Bungie could be working on something else that may be better. Maybe Microsoft could have.
Hold on. You said Bungie. 343 Studios.
343 working on something. Bungie's working on Destiny, so
Yes.
they can keep doing that, I guess.
Yes, that game comes
343.
out.
They could have them working on something else. They could have Rare making a remake of like Banjo and Kazooie or something, like
Nice.
anything.
Right. But you're still saying that you're tired of HD remakes. It's not necessarily the HD
I'm tired of
remake that it
HD
is.
remakes of games that are not old. I'm
Right.
tired of HD remakes for games that are 1 year old.
Right, but I don't want to. But these games are coming to a console that people have. I don't want to go back and buy stuff for my old PS3 if I can avoid it. The fact that Journey is coming to a new console, that excites me. That's a game that I haven't played and I would like to play, and I would rather buy it on a new console, the PS4, as opposed to going back and turning on my PS3. If I can avoid turning on my old consoles, that'd be awesome, and I'd be happy to buy that. I don't see this as being a big problem.
Would you not rather get a new game?
That's not the thing. We already established that these studios are not doing these things.
Yeah, they could be. If they're bringing Journey up to the PS4, the studio that made Journey, or someone related to the studio that made Journey, is uprising on PS4. Would you not rather them work on something new?
I would rather them have. I'm getting another copy of it now. Where you're talking about the studio saying, okay, 2 years, 3 years down the road, we'll release a new game, or in the next couple months, we'll port this over real quick, and then we can start on a new game. I mean, you push it back a couple months, that doesn't really bother me at all.
I just see this kind of rampant capitalism for little gain.
The Journey studio has not been porting that game over for the last 2 years. They've been doing something else. I almost guarantee it. This is just something, a little bone that they can throw in, and probably something that Sony wanted them to do. They're really pushing the PS4 right now, so them getting as many games on the console right now, even if they are older games, because of the kind of the drought we are in, is good publicity and good things happening for the PS4.
Or it's bad because they're just remaking the same games.
They're not
people
bad.
people like Michael are like, hey, I would rather have a new game than this already HD.
I can understand.
I'm not going to complain because more people will get to play a good game. More people will get to play Journey. Journey is a great game. More people can play that, and if they can play that, that is a good thing. I don't think it looks good for your console to just remake old games when you could be making new ones.
But they're not they can't make a new game in that amount of time.
Indie games are still coming out every single week.
Yeah, but I don't know how many of them are actually worth putting that much time behind.
$10? How much time did Journey? You know how long Journey takes to play? An hour and a half. 1.5 hours.
Okay.
I'm saying Journey is better than most of those games. Let's ignore Journey. Other than Journey, what's another game getting remade that deserves it?
I'd probably say The Last of Us is probably a game that might.
It came out last year.
And got how many like best? Oh, this game looks so amazing. Did The Last of Us get to where they're like, now that we have this thing, we're just gonna take this game that everybody already loved and said looks amazing, and just remake it to look probably not that much better.
It's not that big of it. It's not necessarily the fact that it's the HD remake. It's people who have a PS4 can actually go back and play that game now. It's not about the HD. It could look the same for all I care. I'm glad that it's up-res.
Drewby,
What?
are you buying it?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So boom, deal with it. It doesn't matter because you're not buying it. I'm not buying it because I have it. You played it already, so you're not buying it. Most people that wanted to play that game already played that game. The people that have up-resed it, the only people I know that have played it are press people that have got it for free.
Yeah.
Some people bought it new, I'm sure, and I'm glad that some people are getting to experience it for the first time. I just wish we could get more new things or focus on indie games if there's not AAA things. I understand that AAA games take 3 to 5 years to make. I'm not going to try to ignore that fact. But
It would be
I don't think re-releasing new games is special. Or old games, sorry.
re-releasing old games is special. Okay, fine. Obviously not.
Unless they're old enough. Unless they're old enough to justify, like, if someone wanted to remake a game that was 2 or 3 generations old, I think bringing it back has more nostalgia than upresing a game that is not old.
So nostalgia is the only reason to bring back a game.
Yeah, basically. Porting is one thing. Calling it a remake is another thing.
Well, I don't know. Are they calling these games remakes? Other than the Capcom?
Yes.
I don't. You can't call it a remake because it's not. It's just a port.
Remastered is a remake. Last of Us
Remastered is not a remake. Remastered does not mean remake.
If you have
Remastered
to
means
go
that the
back and
existing
change
changed.
textures, if you have to go back and change textures,
Then it's
it
been
counts as a remake.
remastered,
That's all
not
they're doing.
remade.
That's all they're doing to Resident Evil. It's just a remaster. But it's
fine.
the same thing.
Alright, fine. So they're making a port of a port. They're making this game available to more people. Boo.
When everything just becomes remake of the same games, then you'll be happy. So we can move on.
That's not what I'm
Email us
saying.
at thecultureMyPeople@gmail.com if you want to play the same games over and over every year.
Suck.
Was there anything else out of Gamescom that you found interesting?
No, except for the cardboard box trailer. That was pretty hilarious.
You actually played Metal Gear Solid. I didn't play that. So
Yeah, that game's fun. I really liked it. I wish that's another game I should throw back. I beat it as far as like the main storyline, but there's a lot of side content that I wouldn't mind going back to and playing. That's a really fun game.
Oh, that got ported to PC, so that'll be available for more people to play, I guess.
Oh no, they made a remake. They should have been worrying more about Phantom Pain.
Probably, but you know, it's a port. It's not the same thing.
Guess not.
I don't think there's anything else coming out that I cared about.
Destiny's, and we're looking at Destiny in less than a month. That's really the big thing left this year.
Do you think
September
Destiny is
9th.
going to be the game changer that... Do you think Destiny is going to be the... Okay, here's 2 questions. One of them is probably an obvious no. Do you think Destiny is the game changer Bungie is advertising it to be? Which the answer is probably no, but you can go ahead and answer that. Do you think that Destiny will at least be a competitive option to Call of Duty or Halo?
I would say no to the first one. I don't think this game is going to change at all. I've played it. It is good, but I don't think it's so different that it's going to be a massive game changer. In answer to the second question, competitively, as far as I was not a big fan of the multiplayer shooter aspect of it. It plays like Halo, but I don't think that multiplayer is the draw of that game. It might be as you gather gear. In an MMO there is a PvP crowd, so there will be that small crowd to go after that. But the thing that I'm most worried about content, and I will echo the words of Jeff Gershman from our sister site at giantbomb.com. He basically says that he's worried about content, that they are going to have enough content to keep people busy for so long. And just a little bit that I played on it, even the quality of the content is something that I might raise the question and ask people. Some of the missions, we've talked about the voice acting about this game. It's a game that I'll probably pick up. I'm not going to lie about that. I'll probably pick it up on PS4 and we'll play it and we'll level through it, pending my WoW status at the time. But I don't think it's going to be the game changer, and I'm concerned that there's going to be enough content there. It's just there's a lot of questions. We've only played the first 8 levels of that game, and there's supposed to be quite a bit more. So We've only even seen one zone. Based on what I've heard of that game, there's only like 5, 6 more zones. Because we've been to Earth, and then at the end of it, they unlock the moon. At the end of the trial, they unlock the moon. Based on what I've heard, there's like 5 more zones after that. So, is there enough to this game? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of these questions will be answered once the reviews start pouring out and people actually start getting their hands on the no kidding real game, because all we've gotten is press release bull that they've shoved in our faces.
Hopefully, that game doesn't completely tank, because that game was very expensive, and as much as I don't think Bungie is the most amazing video game company, they know how to make a competent shooter, and I don't want that to go away.
Right. I don't want this game to do bad at all. I want Destiny to succeed. Please don't let anyone think that I'm trying to put it down. That game has potential. The shooting was fun, and some of the combat elements I enjoyed. The combat I enjoyed, just not the multiplayer aspect of it. So it plays like it. I don't know. Maybe there's enough lore to it that the fans will go crazy with it. I don't know. Like I said, we haven't seen a whole lot of that thing. Everything that we've seen has been controlled release by the press, but not by the press, by the company, by Bungie. Just saying, oh, here's a little bit more, here's a little bit more. When what we really need at this point, and what Bungie needs, is for people to be in love with that game and to spread the word. So
you can hear Charlie through Mark's microphone.
Yeah, he's freaking out. Are you gonna pick up that game, Michael, or are you gonna pick it up for PS4 or PC? What were you thinking?
Right now, I'm not planning on picking it up. I've been using my funds to move around to like comics or various other places. So I don't like, if the reviews are super amazing and the game is something other than what I think it is, I might decide to check it out. But at this point, I just don't think, like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I don't think it's a game that I am into. I'm just not into I'm into all of the MMO parts of it, and not into the actual like shooting part of it. Not that I think it's bad. It's just not for me.
Blake, you played Borderlands, I believe. What does an MMO shooter, like, on this kind of a scale, does it interest you at all from coming from a Borderlands perspective?
Kind of a little bit. I don't know. I don't think I don't really want my. First off, I haven't played too many MMOs, so I can't speak too much for them. But what I have found, I played what was that one? Planetside?
Yeah.
For about a week or so, which was a first-person MMO. And what I found was I really suck at shooters, and I really suck at kind of MMOs too. So, I mean, I found it more enjoyable to play Borderlands, single player, where I didn't have to worry about, everyone being so much better than me and being behind everyone.
Right.
It was just more. I didn't have to. It was more relaxing, I guess. I didn't have to worry about having to be good with it.
There are a few quests in Destiny that I've played where they throw you into a team of 2 to 3 players and you go through, but predominantly a lot of that stuff is single player, and you're actually playing through a campaign in the style of Borderlands to some extent, where it's an RPG. You're leveling up, but you're playing through a campaign story.
Okay, so it's like co-op?
There are, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
You can co-op on stuff. I think me and Michael actually co-oped for an afternoon. And Michael, I know, wasn't impressed with the game after that co-op.
It's not that it was bad, though. Like, I don't want to give the impression that it was a bad game. It was very Borderlandsy, and I was not a huge fan of Borderlands. I'm not. Let it be said, if you did not know already, if you hadn't heard the shows, I just don't love the shooter genre, and for me to like a shooter, it has to be very story and atmospheric, or just completely ridiculous, like an Unreal Tournament or something. It's just not the genre I care most about. I'd rather play a crappy, weird, story-focused game.
Okay. Okay. I don't remember off the top of my head. Did you care for the Halo games? On a campaign, so, as far as the campaign is concerned, I know I care about it more, but
I thought it was fun to play through. I didn't. It's not like I cared about the story. In fact,
Okay.
if I were to play them, I usually just skip the cutscenes. But I mean, I
Boom.
like walking around and punching a grunt in the head, like more than just as much as your average person. But I'm not gonna go back. Like if I got an Xbox One, I might play the Halo collection because it's the only thing to play on there right now. But I don't think I would get the enjoyment out of it that some people are. Though I do appreciate the fact that in that remake, they are allowing you to play the actual original versions of the game with the original physics and stuff, as opposed to just the updated version. I appreciate when they pay homage to an original game's version.
yeah, yeah. It's, if I get an Xbox One, which I know that was my plan. I don't know if it's how much it's the plan anymore, but if I do get an Xbox One, that is something I will be picking up for that. I almost guarantee it.
Does anyone know when Grim Fandango's coming out?
I don't think not this year. Is it next year? I'll check.
I'm sure I'm sure it is because everything else is next year.
I don't know, but didn't the thing just get announced?
It got announced at E3.
Yeah,
So,
so I bet you
kinda.
at least earliest it would be next year.
It's just a remake. It probably takes them a month, right?
Well, yeah, probably. There's no release date on it right now,
Huh? Man,
so probably 2 years, unless they
2014
pull
is too dry.
Double Fine pulls an E3 thing. It's like, guys, it's out now, and then we're all like, oh, well, you guys are. I don't know how I feel about that.
Double Fine is working on a game that might interest you if you like XCOM and Fire Emblem, because they kickstarted the massive Chalice game that they're working on. I get periodic updates about that.
I thought you were gonna go into Gang Beasts.
Double Fine isn't making Gang Beasts, are they?
They're producing it. They picked it up. They're gonna help finish it.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not. I saw that they streamed a video of Gang Beasts the other day, but I thought it was just them playing it for fun. I did not realize they picked it up.
Yeah, no, that game's awesome. With that, something that we should all try and play together.
Does it have? I don't think it is. It only local. I
Yeah,
don't think
it is only
online
local.
multiplayer.
I know.
Alright,
No, it's
so
okay. They just
we'll have to meet in the middle. Let's go to Colorado, get high.
Okay. Yeah. Hi.
Like fun.
Roll one, smoke one.
It is getting late. It is the longest podcast I think we've done so far. So, unless somebody has something specific they want to bring up, I say we start wrapping it up. Drewby, how can people kind of find you, get a hold of you?
I'm on the internet. That's where you can find me. Twitter.com/Drewby132. At Drewby132. You can find me on Facebook. Facebook.com/Drewby132. And then also on my Twitter profile, there's a link to my Google Plus profile. So follow me there as well. Those are the 3 places. Also, email the show. TheCultimatePeople.com. TheCultimatePeople@gmail.com. And yeah, you can reach me that way as well. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Nothing's changed.
Quick question, Drewby.
Yo.
Quick question. Can they also find you at Gotham via your lower third here?
No. I'm gonna say no. They can't.
But secretly you can. He's if you shine a light in the sky with the shadow in the shape of a bat, he may come.
Looks like all of those spoiler alert jokes that people have made Batman's Bruce Wayne are no longer relevant because that's Drewby.
You guys are terrible at keeping secrets.
I know,
On
dude.
the
Like
internet.
that
You
one
wrote-
episode.
You wrote Batman!
Michael said my name. I mean, now Drewby is Batman, so
Is that
Sure.
the next? Is that what the next Batman arc is gonna be?
yeah, Drewby.
Arkham Knight. Drewby's the Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
That's why he's hyping this game up that's not out yet. He's in it.
Yeah, I can't either confirm nor deny that.
We'll just
Cool.
assume it's
Nice
Drewby.
press move. Mark, do you have a YouTube channel or something that people can find you at?
No, but I have a Twitter. You
What is
can
that?
find me at twitter.com at Murky Freak Bro. I think
How
that's
do you
it.
spell that?
I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time.
MarkieFreakbro.
Yeah.
Did you look that up? Because you did not spell freak right.
No, I did not look that.
You spelled freak with a C, which is why I was wondering if you were looking it up or just trying to think about it in your head.
I was thinking about it. I
It's
was
late,
trying to think
guys.
about it.
Drew doesn't function 1 past 10.
Yeah, alright, so I was right about everything except the C. So just take that C out, and that was right.
I'm eating gummy bear or gummy somebody talk.
Why? This is a terrible
Blake,
time for you to
is
be
there
eating.
anywhere that people can find you, Blake?
Oh,
I don't know.
You
Not
should get
really.
an Instagram, Blake. You should get an Instagram and then just Instagram all the time, like nothing but selfies. And then
I don't.
come on here and hype up this Instagram account of all your
Yeah.
selfies.
you should get
All my
an email account.
shirtless mirror selfies.
What else would you do with an Instagram?
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's made for.
Yeah, pretty much, man. That's all I would
When
do.
it's back in my day, Instagram was for taking pictures of your food and your food only, and now it's just for man chest.
Back in my day, we were. Yes. Word. Word.
Why
Anyway,
is everybody on the show such an old fart?
Whoa! Oh! Wow! Oh, okay. The other day. Okay, I had this realization that old people have, like, we live in an age where old people could have grown up listening to rap.
What do you
like-
consider an old person, Blake?
Like 40?
Okay. That's still pretty good. I would still consider a 40-year-old old. That works.
No.
We should take a poll on the site. What do you consider old?
I have some breaking news.
What's that?
Infamous developer got hit with layoffs.
Oh, lame. You know that game didn't sell enough. Not that it was like a blockbuster. Not that it should have been a blockbuster or anything, but that's kind of sad.
That game looked good.
Yeah, dude, everything on the PS4 that's been like new, or even the remastered games that I've been complaining about, like they all look really good on the PS4.
Mm-hmm. That PT, that horror game, that looks really good.
Dude, have you played that? I want you to play that and stream it.
I'm not playing that game.
I think I could play it now because I kind of know what's going on, but like that game looks the HDness of that first-person horror game creepy as heck.
You'd have to start this massive petition, and we're talking lots and lots of names before I'm going to play that game.
Well, that'll never happen on this site. Our ones and ones of listeners. I can't even say tens and tens of listeners.
The thing, I listen, I'm a consistent listener to this podcast, and I probably won't listen to this one because I'm on it.
Well, but I always listen to the podcast we're on because I like to listen for errors that we could have made / ways that we could do it better, which is basically do it differently than we did the first half of the show where the audio was completely broken.
Yeah, that's not good production quality. I blame my editor-in-chief.
Screw that guy. I'm going to not edit it anyway, so I'll just let it go. Anyway, I don't think I said my information, which would be... Oh, hold on. I was checking something. Never mind. Twitter.com/MichaelNipp, MichaelKnipp, or Facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNipp. And I'll just say, Drewby mentioned it before, you can email us at the site at thecultureofmypeople@gmail.com. That'll go to Drewby and I, and you can ask us questions, leave comments, any type of feedback that you want to. You can also check us out on iTunes. We are on there now. It's just a big cultureofmypeople.com stream, or RSS feed that has all of our shows on there, and then if you have an Android device, you can also check us out on BeyondPod. I'm like getting dizzy now. That's how tired I am. On BeyondPod on the Android, if you would like to. That's our podcast app of choice.
Yes, great app. Like seriously, great app. Check it out.
Your the way that your microphone looks, Drewby, because it's silver or chromey, right?
Right.
It looks like an R2D2 head. The way that your lower third covers the bottom up, and it has the red light.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, Death Star.
Or a Death Star, but like the way that the lower third is covering it up, it doesn't look necessarily perfectly round. It looks like it could be chrome or whatever shape that is.
Cylindrical?
I am way too tired. Yes, I am way too tired to try to think of shape names.
Nice.
This isn't Thomas Was Alone.
The root cylinders in Thomas was a
Yeah. Game's good.
Anyway, I'm about to turn this off. So, for On the Topic of Video Games, episode 13, this has been Michael.
And Ruby.
And Marcus?
Blake.
There we go. Bye, guys.
Deuces.